All I can say is, if you love football, if you are passionate and love the game of football, if you love spending 90 minutes of your life watching 22 grown men pass the ball around, score goals because you love the sport that much, then it means one and one thing only. You love Pedri Gonzalez. Because I've said it once and I'll say it again. Pedri Gonzalez is the definition of football. Barcelona get an important 3 points, an important win, an important game in hand win after defeating Osasuna 3-0 at home. Goals from Fernan el Tiburon, Dani Olmo, and Lewandowski. Incredible game from Barcelona today where they just completely and utterly slapped up Osasuna, and an important 3 points to go 3 points ahead of Real Madrid. 3 points ahead. Real Madrid, start shivering because now it's on you to not draw points anymore. So yeah, we're going to quickly talk about the game, what happened today, my thoughts on the game in general, and like I just said in the beginning, this game can be summed up in one word. Pedri. That's all I can really say about this game. Pedri. 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 Because yet again, he's put up another man of the match performance where he was all over the pitch. Attacking wise, defensively wise, he was everywhere and put up an incredible performance where he just, every time you see this guy on the ball, it's pure magic. I encourage you Madristas, I encourage you haters of Barcelona to start watching Barcelona and focus on Pedri. Please, I encourage you, because as much as we can be biased, as much as we can hate on each other, because trust, Jude Bellingham, I will hate when he fails. Trust. But I can still appreciate when they play good football. And I encourage you to do the same. Please, when you watch Barcelona, just focus on Pedri. Because every single game, he gives you minimum an 8 out of 10. Minimum. Because that's just how good he is. So secure on the ball. So impossible to take the ball away from him. How he creates plays. How he defends. He does everything for you. Everything you would want from a player. That is Pedri Gonzalez. So please, stop being and start watching this beautiful player play. All right. Besides that, let's really talk about the whole game in general. I'm sorry if I sound a bit. It's because I'm a bit sick. So anyone that was watching the stream with me, I streamed this match. You can check it out on my YouTube. I was feeling kind of sick. I've been pretty much sick this whole week because of whatever is flying out there in the air right now. But I'm feeling a little bit stuffy in the nose and stuff. So if I sound a little bit, then that's probably why. But let's talk about the game in general. Let's talk about the lineup for today. Szczesny in goal. Back line of Jules Koundé, Eric Garcia, Inigo Martinez, Alejandro Balde. Midfield of Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, Dani Olmo, and up top Lewandowski. Ferran el Tiburón, what I meant to say. Lamine Yamal and Gavi. Obviously, when we saw it from on the screen, like on FootMob or whatever, SofaScore, whatever you use for your, football ratings and everything, it showed that Gavi was, Dani Olmo was on the left, and there was a 3 midfield of Gavi, Pedri, and Frenkie de Jong. But that wasn't the case at all. Gavi was, playing usually where Rafinha plays, and Dani Olmo was always like around in the middle, playing as a 10 that he usually plays. Like that was pretty much obvious because we've seen Dani Olmo play as a left winger in the past, and that was one of the worst games I've seen. I think it was against Real Sociedad where he was playing basically as a left winger, and that was the worst game I've ever seen in my life, Dani Olmo. So I knew as much as it showed on FootMob or SofaScore, whatever you use, that he was on the left side. There's no way he was playing there. He was 100% going to either interchange with Gavi or just Gavi play there and then him play to the middle. And that's exactly what happened. But in general, the whole game, it was a whole complete domination, especially in that first half. That whole first half was a complete domination for Barcelona. When you look at the stats, if you're a stats person, Osasuna had 0 shots, none on target, nothing. They had like 20% possession. They just were awful in that first half. In general, the whole game, they were awful. Second half, they stepped it up a little bit, but in general, that whole first half, they were god awful, bro. They were so unconfident on the ball. They just looked so flimsy. They looked like they haven't never played football with each other because every time they had the ball, they would immediately just either, obviously it comes from the Barcelona's, high press and, pressing good and not giving them any options. But at the same time, even when they had options, they kept messing up every single time. Where in that first half, they had like one little good play from a little free kick that they had where if it didn't go past the player, they probably could have caused some danger there. But besides that, they were not good at all. But besides that, in the first half in general, it was all Barcelona. Complete domination from Barcelona. The three main standouts from that first half were Alejandro Balde, Frankie de Jong, and Pedri. I say like the first 25 minutes of the match, it was all Frankie de Jong and Balde just having a great interchange in between them. Just Frankie de Jong controlling the ball in the midfield. And then, towards the end of the second half, like the last 20 minutes of the second half, the first half, I should say, Pedri was on the ball more and more. We started seeing him get more into the game, getting more into the ball, more touches on the ball, and from there on, it was just all him for the rest of the game. But Frankie de Jong was sensational today. Created the first goal for the one that Ferran Torres scored. A good little link-up play between him and Ferran. Little one-touch, boom, boom. Frankie sees Balde wide open, gives it to Balde. Balde runs down the line with so much space, crosses it in, and El Tiburón yet again scoring for Barcelona with a great goal from El Tiburón. 1-0 for Barcelona. Great start, 10 minutes in or 11 minutes into the match, which is always good to see. Scoring early into the match to not suffer later, right? But in general, that first half, just more Barca, more Barca, to the point where we got our second goal from a penalty kick, from a foul on, what's his name? Who got fouled? I forgot. Fuck me. Someone got fouled. Oh, Dani Olmo himself. Dani Olmo got fouled. Pedri puts an amazing ball for Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo gets over the goalkeeper, lobs it over the goalkeeper. If he didn't touch him, Dani Olmo probably would have got to win and scored the goal himself. But the goalkeeper brings him down, and penalty for Barcelona. And I wanted Dani Olmo to take it just to get his confidence up, get him into the game and stuff like that, get him some goals, get him some GAs, right? And he did. Thankfully, he stepped up, and then boom, I changed. On my last stream, you can see that I changed the scoreline before he took the penalty because I'm like, it's a penalty. You're not missing. We're not missing. Okay, he missed. He missed the first penalty. I was like, there's no way you're doing this to me right now, bro. There's no way I'm giving you all this confidence. My heart is going out to you, giving you the confidence, and you do this to me. You do this to me. But thankfully, we were able to retake the penalty because an Osasuna player stepped into the box before he took it. And thankfully, we were able to retake it. And Dani Olmo literally shoots it the same way that the first penalty he took and squares it in. 2-0 for Barcelona. And going into the second half, 2-0 up. Again, great half from Barcelona in general. I think every single player in general was amazing. Lamine Yamal was great, creating some good chances, creating some good plays, looked confident on the ball. Ferran Torres, good link-up play as well, looking good. Gavi, aggressive, that warrior that you always need on the pitch, that's always on and everywhere in the pitch for you to get you something, get you the ball back. He's always fighting. He's always in there. Pedri, Frankie, incredible. Balde, incredible. The center half pairing of Eric Garcia and Inigo. Great game from both of them today. Jules Koundé, good game from him too. I think the only criticism I can give him is that he looked a little bit, I don't know. He rushed some passes. It looked like sometimes when he had the ball, he really didn't know what to do. Like he looked like he was rushing his plays instead of having that confidence that he usually has on the ball. Because there were multiple times where he could have made a back pass or made a clear pass that you would usually see him, like the great passes you would usually see him do, but most of the time this game he would clear it out or just kick it out for a throw in. But besides that, defensively wise, he was still very good. Attacking wise, decent, not amazing, because in the second half he did mess up 2 counterattacks. But besides that, the whole team in general was great. And then the tragic news. Dani Olmo on the ground. The medical team rushed into the pitch, and they're like, all right, he needs to come off. The camera pans to Gavi first, and I'm like, what happened to Gavi? No, not Gavi now, bro. We just lost Casado, not Gavi. And then it pans to Dani Olmo on the ground, and I'm like, oh, great. Even better. That's great. That's great. And then Fermin Lopez comes on for Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo gets subbed off, I think, before the 30th minute, and just so much to worry about. Literally when after they showed Dani Olmo on the pitch, on the ground, they panned the camera over to Flick, and he looked pissed. He was obviously visibly upset because, again, when we look back at the press conference that he talked, he was upset about the schedule. He was upset about why they put this game in this certain week, after international breaks, not enough time for the players to get much of a break, right? And obviously, this is the outcome that could potentially happen. This is the one thing that I worried about in my last video. I talked about Barca. This was the thing that I was worried about. What could eventually happen to the players with this excess amount of minutes, excess amount of playing time. And look, we suffered one already. Thankfully, during halftime, I went on my stream and I went to Twitter to really check, any news regarding Dani Olmo, and it's looking like it's something minor. It's not looking like it's anything major for Dani Olmo, but so thankfully that's the case. Hopefully that's the case, I should say. But it's just so upsetting always seeing this guy come off injured because we know how good Dani Olmo is. We know what he can offer us on the pitch, but we've not been seeing it enough this season because of his consistent injuries. I think this is like his fourth injury this season. It's annoying. It's annoying, but he's never going to be a player that I will be like, yo, sell him, get rid of him. All right, he's done. He's not. It's not worth it anymore because we've seen the same situation with with Pedri, with Frankie De Jong. We've seen it with multiple players, right? Where it's frustrating. It's frustrating losing these great players, and it just in the back of your mind, you're just thinking, all right, is this just them? Is this how they are? Is this what their career is about now? Consistently playing good and then get injured. Are they just injury prone to this point? Like these thoughts always come to your head. And I've had these thoughts about Pedri, about Frankie, especially Pedri, because Pedri would consistently get injured. Consistently get injured. But it never crossed my head, let's get rid of Pedri. Because I know how good he is. Everyone knows how good he is. He's just that great that you just have to hope and pray that it's something minimal that can be fixed later on. And we're seeing it this season because Pedri's injury crisis has gone down massively compared to recent seasons in his career. This season, he's barely got injured. I think he had like maybe one or two knocks. But besides that, he's been almost like our player who's played the most this season, and it's great to see. So whatever Flick and his team are doing with Pedri, they need to start doing with Dani Olmo. I don't know why they haven't done it earlier. I don't know if they are. Because I don't know what's happening with Dani Olmo, but something needs to change with Dani Olmo. Something needs to improve with Dani Olmo's, with this problem of him consistently getting injured. They need to find the source of the problem and fix it immediately because he's not a player that we can afford to lose, especially when we're getting close to the important part of the season, which is to win every single trophy. So hopefully it is what they reported, a minor injury. Hopefully it's nothing major, and hopefully he'll be back for the next, couple weeks to play, especially against Dortmund when we have the Champions League. That's the most important thing. Maybe even next week against Atletico Madrid. We'll see what happens. But Fermin Lopez came in for Dani Olmo, and he was great. I gotta be honest, he was great. He looked very good. One of the main things that I criticize about both Fermin Lopez and Ferran Torres is their link-up play and their first touch. That is the one thing I've criticized them a lot in the past because every time they come in, they just look so like when they would come in as substitute, they just look so bad on the ball. Like their first touches look god awful, like their link-up play look god awful. But today they completely, were completely different from that. That criticism. Like they were both amazing today, especially Fermin. Like today he came in and was balling out. His first touches, his first touch link-up play, his in general his half turns, everything he was doing today was incredible. And even the assist, the amazing assist he got for Lewandowski for the third goal, where a little counterattack. Perfect lob for Lewandowski, perfectly set up for him to just header it in and 3-0 for Barcelona. And then from there, game, set, and done. But in general, again, an amazing game from Barcelona. Not much to say about this. Like I said, the only thing I'm worried about is just the excess amount of minutes that these players are playing. Hopefully, it doesn't affect them for the rest of the season. Hopefully, a lot of these players, are good to go for the rest of the season. Obviously, we didn't get the likes of Rafinha today because of international break. He was on the stands, but he going to play. Araujo was on the bench, which is kind of confusing because Flick did say they were not even going to get involved at all. But he was on the bench, but he obviously didn't come in. The players that came on were Pau Victor, Gerard Martin, Pablo Torre, what's his name? Fermin Lopez, and I think and Lewandowski, right? What's his name? Frankie De Jong got subbed out for the literally at halftime, and from what the commentators said, and they said there wasn't anything, anything concerning about about an injury. I think it was just fatigue or him being tired, but. I'm good with that. But in general, Barcelona today were incredible. They were amazing today. In that second half, I would say Osasuna did wake up a little bit. They were a little bit more confident on the ball compared to the first half. But besides that, it was just complete domination from us. They had maybe one clear chance from a little free kick that they had where they crossed it into the box. They headed it, but they headed it out. But besides that, Osasuna were just god awful today. They were just terrible today. Not much to say about Osasuna at all. In that second half, I would say that again, we messed up a lot of counterattacks. I think Lamine maybe this game could have 2 to 3 assists. Lamine with made a perfect play. Pau Victor ruined one of what could have been one of Lamine's best assists this season, where he just cooked up some players, made a beautiful pass for Pau Victor, and he just shot it at the goalie. I don't understand how he missed that. But in general, In that second half, we did miss a couple of chances. We did mess up a counterattacks. Like I said, Juice Kounde messed up like two of them. But besides that, it wasn't anything threatening to the point where we desperately needed a goal because of Osasuna getting closer and closer, right? It was more of us, but like just try to get some goals, right? Especially a third goal, so then Flick can just calm down and be like, all right, let's take these players out. Like Pedri got taken off like the 80th minute after we got the third goal, right? So because the three players I 100% wanted out were Lamine, Pedri, and Frankie De Jong. Those are the three main players I wanted out after the second half. Like that's why I desperately wanted the third goal so we can like just secure, be comfortable, and take those three players out because they're one of the most important players that we have right now playing on the pitch today. But Lamine was the only one that played the whole 90 minutes. Okay, but in general, like I said, Barcelona, complete domination, complete and utter domination over Osasuna. An important 3 points to be now first place with 63 points. Real Madrid on 60 points. And they will play on Saturday against Leganes. So we'll see how they respond after Barcelona's win today from the game in hand that we had. But in general, the league is looking good. The league is looking very good. On Sunday, Barcelona play against Girona for at home for the second time this season. We've already played them once this season and we destroyed them like we did with Osasuna. They beat us this season and we got the get back. When you look at this month, like it's pretty like the teams that we've struggled with this season in the past, like we're playing this month, we're getting our get backs this month. Like we're playing Real Betis, we tied to them, we're gonna get our get back. We're playing Leganes, we lost to them, we're gonna get our get back. And Borussia Dortmund, we struggled with them, we're gonna hopefully get it more comfortable with this. The one thing I did see was that Borussia Dortmund play us and then Bayern back to back, and then they play us again. So that's probably good news for us. That's looking good for us. Like they might struggle with that. That might put some break them down mentally and physically, but hopefully it does. But in general, Barcelona sensational today. Pedri 100% man of the match, deserved 100% the man of the match. He was just incredible today. As much as the whole team in general was just incredible today. Eric Garcia stepped up great today too. He's looking very solid. He's improving massively under Hansi Flick. I just got to give him credit with that. And Szczesny, everyone saw that one little play where Szczesny was getting pressed by two Osasuna players, and he went like, got past him. Like that's just the confidence you need from your goalie, the cojones from your goalie, right? But let me know what you guys think down in the comments about the game. Who you thought was our man of the match? I don't think there's any discussion for that. I think the clear man of the match was Pedri. But let me know in the comments what you thought about the game in general. How do you think we're going to match up against Girona on Sunday? And obviously next week we play Atletico Madrid for the second leg of the Copa del Rey. So let me know what you guys think in general about the match. Much love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.